Right.
Thank you, Sean. All right, so I'm going to try to quickly go over some basics of navigating the legislature's website and how easy it is to testify from home via Zoom or to submit written testimony on a bill you care about as we're moving along in the legislative session. So here we go. Where to find bills. The first link is the web address for the legislative homepage, which has a place to search for bills and all other legislative business, including their calendar. The second link is a dedicated link that brings you directly to a search window that's good if you know the bill you're looking up or a part of its title especially.
And I'm sorry to interrupt. I just want to mention that we'll provide a PDF. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's what I was going to say. That's good. We, as Sean was about to say, we're going to send along a PDF in our newsletter, so you can all have this in front of you, which will be helpful. All right, so basically I've got some screenshots for you of the website just so we can see what it looks like when you get there. On the homepage of the legislature, you can enter your LD number, if you know it. LD means legislative document, and that's a printed bill, whereas LR is a legislative request. So those are made earlier, and then they become LDs if they are a printed bill. The LR number is, oh, sorry, that's what I just said. You also have the option of advanced bill search, which brings up a new page where you'll get several more search fields and options, and I'll go into that in a bit. For now, I've entered here LD3 as an example. That's the $350 relief checks we've all heard about, and then I hit search. So that brings us to this next page with everything we need to know about LD3, which is that emergency heat and housing assistance. It shows you the sponsor, Rachel Talbot Ross. You can click on bill text and other docs over here on the left, and you'll get the full text document of the bill. And then my other arrow here that was already on, you can click on committee info also on the left, and that'll tell you the status of the bill and if and where there are work sessions or hearings. You can also read testimony from folks who have testified if those hearings have already happened. Right. I should also say, if anybody has any questions as we go, please feel free. Now back to that advanced search option from the homepage. So this is where you want to head if you don't have the bill number, we want to search by a topic. This first arrow shows that the 131st session is selected automatically when you go to this page. And so that means this year it's the 131st legislature right now. So if you're searching that, you will find bills that are happening right now. The second arrow here points to this drop-down menu where you can select a sponsor if you'd like to search by who sponsored a bill. It's also important to remember right now that it's only for bills that have been printed so far. So the results will change as the session continues and more bills will be added. So just as an example, I have put housing in the subject field and then I hit search. And that brings up all the bills that have printed so far this year on housing. You can click on any of these to bring up the info about that bill. So just like we saw on LD3. All right. So I've chosen LD 314, which Tracy is co-sponsoring, and here's all the info on that bill. You can see here that the printing of the bill has been ordered and referred to the Joint Select Committee on Housing. So that's as far as that bill has gotten at this point. All right. So that is how to track a bill and how to search for bills. And next I'm going to review how to testify. We're going to talk about how to testify and also where to find hearings that are scheduled. Testimony is happening both virtually and in person this year. If you can't make the hearing, you can always submit written testimony via the website. You can go directly to the link here that I'm showing on screen, or you can go to the legislative homepage like we did earlier and navigate that way. So show you here. Beneath the bill tracking section on the homepage, you'll find a series of options at the bottom of the page. And here we're going to select testimony submission. We tick off public hearing. And then you're going to choose a committee from the drop-down menu. So that's going to be the committee that's hearing your bill, on which you want to testify via Zoom or in writing. If you need that info, I'll show you how to find that in a bit. I'm going to choose Appropriations and Financial Affairs here, or AFA, as an example, because I just did this yesterday with a personal story about funding startup costs for paid family and medical leave. That pulls up another drop-down menu with dates and times. You can also see we have a lot of new info here about how to testify. As soon as the hearing is put on the calendar, you can sign up, and then you can do so until 30 minutes prior to the posted start time of the hearing. If you submit written testimony, you can still do so after the public hearing, and it will be distributed to committee members, but not published online. If you submit testimony in writing on time, it's important to know that it will be available for folks to read on the legislative website. And whether in person or written, you'll need to state your name and town you're from, and whether or not you're in favor of the bill. For in person, I'm not there yet. Thanks, Sean. For in person, and Zoom testimony, you'll have 2 to 3 minutes to state your case. Here I chose February 10th, 2023 at 1 p.m. because that's when the hearing started. So first you will tick here if you want to testify via Zoom. You leave that unchecked if you're only submitting written testimony. You can either upload your testimony by browsing to the file on your computer here, or you can paste your testimony in the box below. I usually do both just to be sure that it gets submitted. You don't have to submit your testimony in writing if you testify via Zoom, but I do recommend it because then legislators will have the opportunity to review your testimony. And if anyone was absent, they get to read it as well. Then you'll come down below and fill out, this arrow. Yeah. All right. Then you'll come down below and fill out these boxes with your personal info. Then you'll check off that you're indeed not a robot and submit or register. All right. If you're testifying via Zoom, you can be sure the previous process I just described was successful when you receive an automatically generated email with the Zoom link for the meeting. It's helpful to have your notes prepared with you since you're going to be timed. Via the Zoom link, you can watch folks testify, but you won't be able to fully participate like in a chat or something like that until your turn approaches. And at that time, you'll be brought with a few others into the Zoom and your name will be called when it's your turn. Sometimes you'll have to wait quite a while if there are lots of folks signed up. So that's something to be aware of. All right, so now back to the homepage. If you want to find out the calendar for the week you're testifying but unsure of the committee, we'll navigate to the public hearings and work sessions section of the site. Here you'll have all the public hearings and work sessions for the next 5 days come up automatically. You can also search by committee up top, by sponsor, or for today, and you can see each of those schedules by those search terms. You can adjust how many days out you want to see what hearings and work sessions are coming up. Here you can also choose for the next 2 weeks or longer. You'll see that each public hearing is listed by its bill. And when you click on that bill number, it will bring you to that bill's info page like we were looking at earlier. So this is also a great place to find bills that you might be interested in. All right, back at the homepage, I also wanted to point out that you can live stream hearings and work sessions even if you don't want to testify. There's also a YouTube channel where you can watch previous hearings. And finally, if you're interested in legislation on a particular subject and want to be kept aware of that, some of the bills, but don't have time to track them all yourself, definitely talk to your legislators and find out if they or someone they know are working on these issues. and or get in touch with organizations who are already doing this work on a specific topic or on many. For example, here I have some links to Maine Transnet, the National Resource Council of Maine, and Mabel Wadsworth, who all have specific bills they are tracking this year and advocating on, and you can find info on each of their websites. Groups like Maine Women's Lobby and Maine People's Alliance advocate on lots of issues based on their missions and membership. Maine Women's Lobby even has a public Google sheet where they track all the bills they work on, and it covers a lot because, of course, women's issues are everyone's issues. Maine People's Alliance also has a lobby team that travels to Augusta once a week and offers training on how to speak with legislators in person and how to testify, and will also connect you with organizers who will help you testify on bills where you have the greatest impact based on your interests and personal experiences. So I put a link to their calendar here where you can see those events each week, but you can also reach out to me as I co-chair that lobby team. And we work on housing, drug policy, workers' rights, criminal justice, racial justice, healthcare, and more. All right. And that is the end of my presentation. So if anybody has any questions, please let me know.
Susan Bloomfield, go ahead.
Hi, good morning. Amy, that was fantastic. Thank you very much. I have two questions. One is I usually default to written comments.
Sure.
For the reason that you gave, that, you know, I'm pretty certain that they would exist and people would actually have to read them and they would be part of the record. But you had mentioned submitting in writing no matter what, and you said it would be in the box. You said to do one thing definitely, and then the other one was a good idea. In the box and then the browse, or
to upload a PDF is usually what I do. So you can upload a PDF or you can copy and paste your testimony into the box that's here on the testimony page. Either way, but I often do both just to make sure that the testimony is submitted.
Okay, so thinking maybe the box might not work, and
honestly, it's more for me. I'm worried the file might not upload correctly, and so I want to make sure that if the file doesn't upload correctly, the form will have my text in it as well.
Okay, great, thank you very much. And then my other question is, I do not know what Mabel Wadsworth does.
It's a reproductive health clinic that is one of the only like state contained abortion funds we have here in Maine.
I see. Okay, I'll look into that. Thank you very much. This was a great presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Thanks, everyone. And like I said, we'll send around a PDF so you can see that all in front of you.
Yeah, the link to that will be in the next newsletter going out.